Do you feel like your chest is looking old and weather beaten and wrinkly and like it needs some work? Stay tuned. We're going to make it look better. Welcome back. Christine Byer here, licensed esthetician for about 20 years and 21 years this year. And did you ever look down in the car about 3 p.m. or 5 p.m. whenever you're coming home from work and see the sun just pummeling this area? Yeah, me too. So I'm going to show you one of my favorite treatments to do to this area. What you're going to need is an exfoliant, a very hydrating conductive gel, a skin brightener, vitamin C, whatever it is that you use, and a moisturizer. I'm going to start off with one of my favorite cleansers. This is a triple acid bead-based cleanser, but the beads are jojoba beads, so they break down very slowly. Well, it takes about 20 seconds for them to melt down. This does not have plastic in it, nothing that's bad for the oceans. So yeah, it's jojoba beads, and this is a very, I wouldn't say it's extremely exfoliating, but it's a nice daily exfoliator for your skin. And it has a mix of lactic, glycolic, and salicylic acid. So those together work really well to get up all those dead cells off the top layer of the skin. I guess I like to get this nice and foamy. I might need more water. That's good enough. Probably really should have just put on a towel or wrapped it in a little robe or something. This is about the widest cut blouse I had, so our lowest cut. All right, so you'll want to do this twice, do a little double cleanse. And I'm going to take it off. Once again, I'm doing the Scrub Away the Day cleanser. Oh wow, I got a little more foam this time. Didn't. Yeah, so I'm just lifting up the dead cells, getting any oils off. This would feel really good, somebody else doing it to me. You guys, I have had a head cold since last Thursday. My daughter brought it home from school, and I'm like, if the kids are wearing masks, how are they passing around these viruses or whatever this was? Some sort of cold. I'm feeling much better today, but I missed Mother's Day dinner with my family. I was so upset. I mean, my husband made me breakfast, but like with the rest of my family here in town, I didn't get to see anybody. Okay, so I'll go ahead and wash that off, or sponge that off. Now I don't know how sensitive you would say my skin is, but I definitely have that peaches and cream, the type of skin that, or strawberries and cream, what did they say? Or it gets really red fairly quickly. But when I do my skincare at night, I come all the way down here. So anything my face gets, my chest gets, and I think that helps. Of course, I've got this scar here. I've had this since I was like 6 months old. It's gotten better over the years. I've done a ton of treatments to it, and then after a while, I was just like, I don't care, it's my Nike swoosh. Okay, so let's make sure that's completely off. Now look, if you have really sensitive skin, you might want to skip this next step, because we did some nice exfoliation. But I'm going to do a little granular. So I'm going to continue on with the granular exfoliation. This is my body scrub, and I love this because it's a body scrub with antioxidants in it. There it is. Yeah, so it's my TEAriffic antioxidant body scrub. So it's got white tea, green tea, all these different types of teas. The polyphenols from the teas really act to bring down any inflammation, while it has olive and avocado oils, kukui nut oil. I love all these oils in here. It smells amazing. There's no fragrance added. Oh, it's wonderful. So yeah, anytime you do an exfoliation and you're dealing with, I don't know, body skin, any skin that you want to, I like to exfoliate and add antioxidants at the same time, because in my mind, in my esthetician mind, it only makes sense. So we're going to do maybe a half teaspoon of this and just do our little granular scrub. Now, if I were in the treatment room, I would probably grab my spinning brush and go over this to just get a little extra oomph. It all depends on what's going on with the chest. Like I was saying, my older clients, 60s, 70s, they usually have a ton of glycation. So I'm doing things that will cause cellular repair. So I'll go in, I'll do radio frequency, I'll do, microneedling doesn't always work on that. You usually have to do some sort of peel and some sort of device. Fiberglass is the best that I've seen. It usually takes, 1 to 3 treatments to really get that glycation off. It's funny, I was watching a TV show and I hadn't watched it in, a couple of years, and Lucifer, it was on like Fox, and then it got taken off of Fox and Netflix bought it up, and it's actually better now. It's like a little more, holds your attention a little better. So, God, this feels so good. And it smells amazing. It smells like a spa, but it smells like tea, lightly of tea. Oh, but it reminds me of working in a spa. Well, it reminds me of working here. Crazy. So you guys, I did my eye makeup after realizing I had painted. I'm like, why did I paint my nails blue and do my eyes fuchsia? I was looking for a pop of color. That's so in right now, a pop of color. Of course, I'm not sure if I'm doing it right, but I hope this is right. So in this, going back to watching this, the main character, the gal, she's adorable. She's so cute. She's super skinny, but they all get fillers and everything, so her face has no wrinkles. But I did notice a little bit of glycation happening right here on her. And I was like, it happens to the best of us, we all get it. And she's young. I'll bet you in real life she's in her 40s. What, you guys, does anybody know Lucifer, the main detective, how old is she? I need to look that up. But yeah, I noticed a distinct difference in her skin from a few years ago. And she just has a little patch right here that looks glycated to me. Slightly glycated. Okay, so we're going to sponge that off. It's good. We got a little bit of redness going on. That's good. That should go away pretty quickly. Make sure you get all these little granules off, because you're going to be doing a device over it. So if you have the Time Master Pro, or you have the devices they sell online are usually so wimpy. I like the Time Master Pro because I've actually seen it start to break up glycation, which floored me because I've never seen any device do that unless it was like bionic, something you use like a plastic surgeon, laser based, radio frequency based, something with a lot of heat behind it. But the Time Master Pro starts to break down, and I think it's because it's such a low frequency ultrasound. Even though it only had 5 watts, it's still deeply penetrating. So I was surprised, but it does. I've seen it on older clients where I've been like shocked that it starts to break down glycation. So it's slow, but it does it. At this point, we want to put on our actives, and not retinol, not more acids. So right now, I think I'm just going to do a brightening serum and some nourishing serums, and then put on my conductive gel, and we'll work on top of that. So I'm going to be doing Brighten the Day and my Triple C. So do a little Brighten the Day. Do a little Triple C. And so tonight, if you're doing this at night, fine. You'll put on your moisturizer and you're done. But if you were doing this during the day, you would sponge it off with a warm, wet towel and, leave most of it sort of on there so it feels tacky. You're not going to like scrub everything off. And then you'll put on a moisturizer, and then you put on a sunscreen if it's during the day. You don't want to undo all your hard work. And that's it. Yeah, everybody always asks me, what do I do with what's left over? You would just lightly take off the excess and seal that in with a moisturizer and sunscreen during the day. We have Hydrolift. So I'm going to put this on. Wow, I am shellacquered. Not in a bad way. It's still a light, sort of oil-free way, which is important because you want that. You want the current to conduct. You want the ultrasound to go through and the waves to go through. This is ultrasound, and let me show you this. This is kind of cool. So when I turn it on, you may have seen this before. I put a little dot there. All right, so let's get started. I think I'm going to turn this sucker up. I don't know. My skin's a little stimulated. I'll probably put it on 2. I got this on 2. So make sure you get down here where the little side, the wrinkles start from sleeping on your side. And I'm going kind of fast. But yeah, I like to follow the aging process on movie stars because I guess it makes me feel a little better. We all age. So and you know, now with HD, gosh, they can't hide anything. I can tell when somebody needs a facial. I don't know if I want to be a movie star. That would be rough. They can get you at an unflattering angle. I guess you could write that into your contract, the lighting. You know, a lot of these older stars, they have that all written into their contract about lighting and angles. So, yes, and I was surprised to see another favorite YouTuber had a neck lift. And I'm like, wait a minute, I just went through everything on screen and she didn't. But you know, I feel like there's too many people my age range that just have questions about surgery and facelifts and neck lifts and, you know, what the process is like. So I wanted to do that on screen. Now look, what I went through was atypical. This Wednesday is 8 weeks. I'm 8 weeks out, and you know, pulling that stitch out like I did, that was unusual. Most people will take it easy after they have major surgery. I did not. So, but all in all, it was, you know, it was major surgery. Would I do it again? Yes. Yes, I would. I'm glad. I mean, I see myself in videos now and kind of stuff I didn't think would happen. I feel like my face looks more oval. That was the first thing my mom said when she looked at me. She's like, your face looks more round. I'm like, well, what did it look like before? So if I wanted to work this scar, I could just go over it and over it and over it. This little device is so interesting. They have it on a timer, so after 5 minutes it shuts off. And if you have this device, if you let it shut off and then you feel like you're done, you're not. It goes off after another. You turn it back off, turn it back on, and do another 5 minutes on the other side of your face. It's Koreans. I don't know why they decided to do that, but it does say it in the instructions. 5 minutes, one side of your face, neck and chest. 5 minutes, you do the other side. So I guess they thought that was a nice timing mechanism. It doesn't bother me, but it's good to know, right? It's good to know. So yeah, I am going to do a follow-up video, sort of recapping everything for those who are deciding to go or not. Under the knife. It is not for everybody at all. It's really not. But for those of you who, I think it's really based on your anatomy. If you feel like you look like, what's the gal on the Drew Carey show? God, I can't remember her name. So funny. She's hilarious, but she has sort of, just goes straight down. So if that's sort of your anatomy, you can do things like Sculplla that will take the fat out. You can do things like fiberglass that will shrink it up a bit, but I think to get, if you want sort of a cliff here, I feel like I'm swollen. If you want sort of more this thing going on, I had to get the chin implant or it just wasn't going to work. I am still swollen. And I've not really been able to do, you know what? I'm going to do some neck stuff here. Let me get this stuff over here. I just haven't done much to this area. Been kind of letting it settle, but this feels good. All right, so at this point you've done 5 minutes of the Time Master Pro. At this point you can lay under an LED or you can use your LED. Yeah, so I'll see the results of this. I did a couple treatments. I think I put this up on my club where I did it before and after on this scar. I'll just go ahead and work this scar. And you really could see a difference that it was smaller. This is sort of my little barometer where I can see what things are doing. So and I showed people before and after, and it was a bit smaller. After just, I think, 2 or 3 treatments with this, I was kind of shocked. So yeah, also, if you have questions, post them in the comments and I'll see, we can make a video. I'll make a video answering your questions, showing you how to do certain things. So you have to work décolletés in different ways on different clients. I was working on my mom's décolleté when I gave her a facial. And I kind of did, well, we did a peel. And I actually put Sculplla, the Sculplla mask down there. And, oh, that's what I should do. This video would be way too long if I did that. Besides, it's a pro only. It's a little, God, it takes a lot of patience and skill to learn how to put it on properly to get the best results. And it was a pain in the ass in the beginning. That thing almost made me want to cry, but I put it on her. Now, I haven't seen her again because I worked on her 2 Fridays ago and she was supposed to return on Friday, but I was sick. I didn't want to get my mom sick. So we're in the middle of doing a Sculplla build-up on her. And the Sculplla mask is a facial filling mask, for those of you unfamiliar. And it's from Korea. And every time you do it, it pushes more polylactic acid, which is a manufactured stem cell found in dissolvable sutures. So if you've had surgery, you've probably had these dissolvable sutures. But every time you do this mask, it pushes more and more of that polylactic acid into the follicle, which wraps around the hair follicle and coats the inside of the follicle. And then that's in there, and it's sending out this produced collagen, like constantly, this message 24/7, because it's in there. And so when you do a series of these masks, the skin will just fills up. It's really cool. And I did a FaceTime with my mom yesterday, and she said she saw a friend she hadn't seen in a while. She's like, "Why do you look younger?" I'm like, my mom has a secret weapon. So yeah, it's usually a week after the first facial filler treatment, the first Sculplla mask treatment, people start to really notice a difference. And so I'll be doing her second treatment, I guess this Friday. So we'll fit it in again. So yes, this cold is still with me. Has anybody else had like a total lingering cold? I know it's not COVID, but it is not fun. I do feel better today than I have in a long time. Wow, my neck does feel better. You know, after surgery, they yank everything up around here. You can still see, that's the sutures right there. So they yank everything up around here, and this just is really tight. I'm doing some massage, but you know, it just takes a while to loosen up. So now we are going to sponge off or take a warm wet towel and remove any excess. And at this point you could apply LED. The one I sell is large, this size, so you would be done with this in 9 minutes. But I have a big, huge 18 LED panel that I'm going to lay under, and I will see you on the flip side. Okay, so at this point I just did the LED, and I forgot to turn my camera back on, and I applied some of the Sculplla Stem Cell Mist. I'm going to go ahead and get the face too. And this can be sprayed on any time of the day, even over makeup and sunscreen. I applied some of my sun cushion. So I'll go ahead and put a little more on. So you just dip in here, and then you pat it in, and then you rub. And I have a good amount on. And that's it. I did sponge off any excess residue when I was done with the Time Master Pro before I went under the LED. And I did my big massive 1800 LED, 1800 bulb LED for 5 minutes, and then always end with sunscreen, especially if it's during the day. Just remember to treat this with kindness. Make sure you always keep something to protect it in the car, and always put on your sunscreen, even down here from hairline to breastbone. Hairline to breastbone. I tell every client this. Sunscreen goes from hairline to breastbone. We see down here, and the sun gets there too. So always remember, hairline to breastbone. Thanks for watching. Bye now.